Once again, it's time for another Bob the Sign Man episode. Now on to the show.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. Today I'm making some roadwork signs, roadwork ahead for the crew. They're doing a project next couple of weeks coming up. They'll be working out there, so I'm going to place some, I guess you call it temporary, permanent, or whatever signs. I'm going to post them in the ground, and they're going to be out there all the time because at nighttime, let people know there's road work ahead. So I printed them out with the digital printer, and I've been having troubles with the laminate. I finally got this good laminate. It's the 3M 1160i. It's got the pre-mask on it. I was trying to do the other laminate without the pre-mask, and that stuff is just horrible. And then they have the new 1170, but they made the backing really thin, and that's even hard to work with because I don't have a laminator. We do cold lamination. So I got the pre-mask. And what I did is I had been putting the pre-mask over the top of the signs, just like this, rolling it out. And I peel the pre-mask off. And it's hard to peel off because the sign is so, flexible. There's nothing on it. So I got an idea. I thought, well, if I put the sign on the blank first without any overlay over the top of it for ultraviolet or graffiti film, I thought, well, then when I trim it around, I'm going to have to put another layer on and try to trim that. And so I thought, well, why don't I just do this? Why don't I cover the sign? Got my blank here all ready to go. So this will be, the holes are cut for 32 for a windbrace that goes across. So I want to make sure I have my roadwork sign on the right way, and that's the right way right there. Go ahead and center it on the blank where it should be. And this doesn't have any of the ultraviolet and the graffiti. So they have, 3M has this new one that serves both purposes. It'll provide ultraviolet protection so your digital prints don't fade. Plus, it's got graffiti guard on the top of it, so you'll be able to clean it if the vandals hit it, in which they usually do. I've been getting a lot more graffiti lately than I used to, so it's a good deal that we're covering all our signs. Now, I used to trim them out as soon as I got them done, but I'm not going to trim this one right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pre-mask over the top of it. Just roll out enough here to cover the whole sign. And what's nice about my lighted table, I can see where I need to make my cut too. So we'll just go right along this edge here. Like I said, this is the one with the pre-mask. And I've already done one sign like this today. This is only the second time I've done it like this method here. And the pre-mask is so much easier because that stuff is really thin. Now you got the pre-mask on top. Okay, so now it's just a matter of sheeting it. We're just going to go right over the top of it. So much easier to work with. Now you got the pre-mask on it. All right, now that I have that on there, I'll go ahead and trim it up. So now I've got the aluminum blank underneath. I got my sign on top, and then I have the overlay over the top. And now I can trim them all together. Always make sure when you're doing this, you have a nice sharp blade. Don't try to keep using them and using them. Just, blades are cheap, signs are expensive. You don't want to ruin a sign because you cheaped out on a little razor blade. And you'll see sometimes how a sharp blade will really help you navigate the corners. Because if you have a dull blade, it has a tendency not to want to cut around the corners very easy. Okay, there we go. I got the sign on there, on the blank, and I've got the overlay over the top. I use the 1160i, and it has the pre-mask on it. Now, you can do one of two things. You can take it off right now, or you could leave it on and transport it out to your job site, and that way you know the sign isn't going to get damaged. But the longer you leave that pre-mask on, the harder it is, especially if they get wet or hot or something. So what I'm going to go out, today is a Friday, I'm going to go out on Tuesday and install these, so it's just a few days. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull the pre-mask off. And it comes off relatively easy. Just make sure you don't pull the pre-mask off with the 1160i. Don't make sure you don't pull it off too, but just be careful with it. So there we go. And what I've noticed about doing it this way versus putting it on right after you're off the printer and then trying to pull it off its stuff is you get a better coverage. It seems to work a lot better this way. So there's a little tip and trick here. This is what I'll do. Now, before I go out in the field, I'll go ahead and cut the holes out. You could leave the pre-mask on and cut the holes out if you wanted to. So it's kind of, up to you. I'm not sure how long you can leave the pre-mask on. I've had a couple signs way in the past. I had an agency put some pre-mask on for me. We were trying out a roll of it, and I left it on, I think, a little too long, and it was tough to peel off. So, it's kind of up to you. I wouldn't go more than a week or so, probably, before I peel the pre-mask off. All right, well, there you go, all ready to go. You get stuck looking for some tips, tricks, or just a little bit extra help, you know who to turn to. That's right, you just turn to the Sign Man. As always, thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching this exciting episode of Bob the Sign Man. Filmed in the beautiful Napa Valley, Bob the Sign Man directs, produces and edits all of his own videos. To learn more about where Bob the Sign Man gets his materials and sign supplies, check out www.bobthesignman.com. As always, thanks for watching. See you soon.